Got it.
Good day, everyone. This is Melanie with Nutrition and Wellness with Melanie. I'm so happy that you're here today, and I'm even more happy that I have a special guest with us here today. I have Erin Cullin. Erin is a personal trainer. She is a Kinstretch instructor and so much more. And I invited her today to talk to you a little bit about a format that I don't think most of us know about, and that Erin is a trained instructor. And we are going to bring her on today to talk a little bit about that. Erin, welcome so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited and honored to be able to talk to you and talk a little bit about one of my huge passions that has gotten me through a lot of pain. So, and who wants pain? No one.
So tell me your background, what you do, and how you got how did you get into Kinstretch, and what is Kinstretch? Let's start there.
Yeah, I would love to. You know what? I'm gonna share my screen with you right now.
Please.
So Kinstretch is part of the FRS Functional Range Systems family. So there's a lot of different, they have several different formats. Look, they've got functional range release, functional range conditioning, functional range assessments, the internal strength model, and Kinstretch. So I am a functional range conditioning mobility specialist first and foremost. Yay. Whoop, whoop. Okay, what does that mean?
What does that mean in lay terms?
That sounds like a lot of words. So I'm going to scroll down here. Everybody likes graphics, and people like to read when they're hearing too. So FRC is mobility development, joint strength, and body control. So you can only control what you can control. I know that sounds like a lot of words there too, but think about your own, think about your shoulder here. So let's say you only have flexion to here, okay? You want to get to here. This is full flexion. So how do we get to there without compensating, right? A lot of people like, oh, well, I'm gonna push overhead. So FRC helps control your joints. We're trying to get more capsule space in there. We're trying to get more joint strength. We're trying to prevent injury. We're trying to keep maintenance in the joints. So those three cornerstones are the main functions of FRC. And you cannot, why did I tell you about FRC? Because you can't get to Kinstretch without it. So you have to go through FRC, and then you can take Kinstretch. What is Kinstretch? It's the same as FRC. You can teach it on a group level in long, short. But I'm going to read you this beautiful definition that they have, because I think it really explains it, but I'm going to pull it apart for us. So Kinstretch is a movement enhancement system that develops maximum body control, flexibility, and usable, the key word there, usable ranges of motion, okay? I'm gonna stop sharing.
When you mean usable ranges of motion, can you go deeper into that?
Yes, I was totally gonna unpack that one. So let's say we're still talking about that shoulder, okay? So usable range of motion. So I have full use of my shoulder because of Kinstretch. So how do I know that? So I'm going, so this is, I just demoed like a really fast shoulder car, and I'll talk to you about cars in a second here. So usable range of motion means you can stop anywhere I tell you throughout that whole big joint circle. I'm sitting down, so I compensate a little bit, and I'm not trying to like make this move too much. So I can stop anywhere in that, and I'm not compensating with any other joints in my body. I'm not enlisting my thoracic spine or my scapula to get me through. I'm not muscling over to extension. I can use my joint interdependent of any other joint. That is full use of this joint. Should have used this arm. That was silly. I'm right-handed, so. Okay, so the basic thing, and actually I'm teaching a workshop in Columbus next week. I wish you could come, Columbus, Ohio. I'm gonna do my first big time Kinstretch class on a big level. And we're going to do CARS. Have you ever heard of CARS before?
I know that's an acronym. Can you let us know what that
stands for? Yeah. So CARS stands for controlled articular rotation. It's basically the brushing your teeth of your joints. It's not super glamorous or sexy or anything. You've seen me post videos in fast motion. Those are way too fast. Cars like 1 mile an hour through molasses. Okay. So CARS, it is daily maintenance of the current existing range of motion that you have in your joints. You're not going to add new range just by doing CARS. That's where the Kinstretch and the FRC comes in. We have eccentrics, tails, rails. I'll tell you more about that. Okay. Eccentric neural grooving. I'm giving you all kinds of huge buzzwords. You don't want to hear about that.
Well, so I think most of us don't know what that is.
No, you don't. You don't. I'm still learning what a lot of it is. I'm just kidding. So tails and rails. So tails is progressive angular isometric loading. Okay. So you're giving tissue extra load progression in order to get more capsular space. So I have someone who has poor shoulder flexion. Okay. I'm going to use this arm smart. Okay. So I'm going to have them, they want to get more shoulder flexion. Okay. So I'm going to give them a tails and rails of the shoulder. So they are holding their shoulder with, like, I have a little rod back there, a stick, or you can do it on the ground, on a block, or on the wall, anywhere where you have it blocked. Okay. And you're going to mimic this motion after you're going to do this motion. So progressive and regressive tissue. You have progressive, the tissue that's on stretch, and regressive, the tissue on the upside.
Got it.
So I know that's a lot of jargon. Okay. I just threw a lot of stuff at you.
That's okay. As long as we're not tested on it afterwards, that's good.
No, you won't be. No, you just have to DM me and work with me if you want to gain more flexion, extension, whatever you want.
Right. Because that was like 3 different formats, like all in one right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Kinstretch is a big, you have to have a license for it. So it's like a big deal to have a Kinstretch provider working with you. It's doctors, like your chiropractor can get a Kinstretch certification, or they would probably do like the FR release.
Okay.
But it's good for anyone who wants to help people with joint health. Okay. Long end of the short here, it's joint health.
Got it. And then
it's supporting the muscles around it too, because it's strength training. Like, I mean, we were talking before, like, you don't want to do this at night because it's going to rev up your nervous system that, hey, I'm working hard. Like, you wouldn't do a heavy lifting before you go to bed, right?
Oh God, no.
No, so you shouldn't do Kinstretch before bed either. And you shouldn't do CARS before bed. That's why CARS is called the morning routine.
Got it.
So you want to do it first thing in the morning when you've been sedentary for hopefully at least 7 hours. When your body's been asleep, you wake up, you do the morning routine when you're making your coffee.
So then you kind of probably already answered some of that within that. So why would people need the training and originally come to you?
Yeah, so a lot of my colleagues work with professional athletes like MLB, like pitchers, football players. That's not my jam. Not to say that I would particularly say no to working with a team of football players. I could absolutely help them, but I got this to work with Gen Pop because I am Gen Pop. My clients are Gen Pop and they come to me with pain. Like, I don't know, do you have any joint pain? Of course you do. Everyone has joint pain.
Especially hips. Yeah. We all
everyone has joint pain. So I got interested in this because I was spending too much money on my chiropractor who was not helping me anymore.
Okay.
And I'm like, the heck with this. I need to heal thyself.
Okay.
So Kinstretch, and I have been wanting to get an FRC, actually, spoiler alert, since 2020, but I went with a different certification instead, and I still ended up back at FRC. So it was meant to be. But yeah, Gen Pop is so sedentary. We are more sedentary than ever.
Why do you think that is?
I think we've gotten complacent, and movement is hard for some people. So they'd rather just be sedentary because moving sounds hard, doesn't it? I mean, not to you or me, but
right. I'm just surprised at such a young age that that's an issue.
Oh, well, most of my clients are 50 or above, actually.
Okay.
So, and I live with my folks, and they're in their 70s. And I wanted to be able to help them because they help me so much.
And I also think too, and you probably will agree with this too, due to COVID and with everything online, we are sitting behind a computer more and more than ever.
Yeah.
Which is a mixed blessing because it's opened up a lot of doors. But I think, like you were saying, we are more sedentary now because of having to go online.
Yeah. And you know what? You can do Kinstretch from a seated position. I'm going to launch a Kinstretch for seniors class. And that's another segue into specific populations. You can't, like, I would never have my parents in one of my normal Kinstretch classes because they can't get on the ground like I would expect my 30 somethings to do, like get on their knees. Like my mom has double knee replacements. She can't use her knees like that. However, I put her in a group of her peers who maybe one of them had shoulder replacement, maybe one of them has a hip problem. They can all do Kinstretch from a seated position.
Nice.
You can absolutely move from a seated position. These are not locked to, there are base positions that are involved, like a quadruped position or a tall kneel, but you don't have to. You can do it from a seated position. So like I say, your joint health matters because once it's gone, you are in big trouble. And
so oh no, go ahead. What would you say the majority of the clients come to you for originally then?
Pain. I'm in pain. I can't do this, like, because mobility is one of my cornerstones, and they're like, oh, well, mobility, can you help me? Like, I can't touch my toes anymore, or my pitching arm. Like I have actually, this is a great, my client that was in my article, he comes to me and his flexion is here. When he starts with me, we take him through some pails and rails, and he leaves and his flexion is all the way up here. He's in full flexion. Now, that doesn't mean he's always going to be in that because he has to do the homework, and I give my clients homework to do. I just worked with someone yesterday, and she has chronic low back pain, like a lot of women. And that's another thing we can talk about part 2, because bipedalism has caused us all to have low back pain. It's just inevitable because we're bipedal. But now I'm getting way too.
Now I'm getting way too. Part 2. Everyone's head's probably spinning with the acronyms and everything. Like, wait a second, what's going on?
We don't walk like apes anymore.
This is true.
And I'm not telling anybody that you need to start crawling unless you want to, and then you do you. But she has low back pain, so I give specific homework to that specific client, but I can't do that with a Kinstretch class because I'll have all kinds of different people in there, and I'll just say, okay, well, we're going to work on external rotation for your hips today. We're going to work in this face position, and then we're going to use this face position, and that's it. Because a Kinstretch class, I wish I had like 90 minutes, but I'm going to run to 60, and that's enough because cars alone takes about 20 minutes.
That was
to do full body cars.
How long? So like that was a perfect segue into like what, like, So what is your recommendations for people just starting out then?
Cars. Absolutely.
Remind us what CARS stands for again, please.
Yeah. Controlled articular rotations and the morning routine. You can go to YouTube and type in FRC morning routine, or you can, I have one on my Vimeo page. I can send it to you. You can link it. Okay. I don't usually give things like that away because they take me a lot of time, but I will, because people don't know a lot about what CARS is. And I have little demos on my social media page that people can go check out too.
I will definitely make sure people can reach out to you. And then how long would be a typical class?
So a Kinstretch class, I am going to make them 60 minutes. It's a 60-minute class for sure. Just because I want to be able to focus on one specific, say we're going to work on hips today. Excuse me. Actually for my certification, I taught hips external rotation. So I taught it 4 different times. So I don't even know, actually a lot of people don't even know what internal and external rotation of their hips is. So my biggest thing for my clients is education. I want to educate them on how their body works so they can help themselves feel better. Because you can't see me every day, and I don't have the time to film for you every day, and you don't have the funds to pay me for that every day. I mean, let's be honest, But education is the key.
Oh, it's the key to everything, and empowering others to be able to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Which I love is your philosophy, because that's also my own philosophy as a fitness professional as well. And then, so how many days a week would somebody need to incorporate this into their regimen?
Morning routine, days that end in Y, absolutely, at least every day for that. And that's 5 to 10 minutes. You don't have to do 100 reps. And you start top down. If you only do your neck, which is cervical, spine, your scaps, which are your shoulder blades, your shoulder joint, your thoracic spine, and hips and ankles, that's going to take you about 5 minutes.
And that's the CARS morning routine?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, there's more joints. I didn't say elbow or wrist or knee or your patella or your toes. Yes, most people can't even use their feet either, but that's part 2.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I could talk about this stuff forever because it's so important, and it has been an absolute game changer for my physical, the way that I aesthetically look, as well as the way I feel. Who wants to wake up every day oh my God, my hip hurts still, or oh my God, my back and my neck, nobody wants to wake up feeling like that, and you don't have to.
So how long have you been practicing, and how long after practicing did you start to see the effects of the practice?
Yeah, so I started taking Kinstretch classes with my coach, I would say probably back in April, March of this year.
Okay.
So it hasn't been very long. And I signed up to take FRC in May, and then I took Kinstretch the next month, which is not recommended. I don't recommend that. The FRS system is, let me tell you, I hadn't even said the buzzword science backed, which everyone wants to hear. Yes. This is backed by science. There's just so many avenues and facets and things that you need to learn. I'm still learning, and I have a lot of things that I educate myself on daily so that I'm staying sharp.
So you definitely recommend the CARS every day, but what about the longer class, the Kinstretch? If somebody was just starting out, what would you suggest to them?
Once a week at least.
Okay.
I take a Wednesday night class with my coach. And I've been taking that since March, and it's been game changer for I was talking to you beforehand. I mean, we all have, if you've had kids, you've got some mom areas because you have, you grew a human in your body. And the female body is just amazing like that. But that doesn't mean we want to hang on to that forever. But doing Kinstretch has really, like, it's changed my abdominals and my back. Everything looks stronger. My arms look stronger, because you are creating, I didn't even talk about the irradiation either. So when you're doing cars, you have to create tension in the rest of your body so that only your neck is moving. So that's called irradiation. So you want about 50% tension. Like, I'm going to come punch you over, but you can't because everything's so tense. So like, you can create like some pretty strong bodies from this, just from, I mean, I don't want to say just from doing cars because I do Kinstretch too, but cars is the foundation, and you can't do without it.
No, that's so great for a start, because I definitely want something doable and easy for people, because anytime something is new to people and it's daunting, you know, we want to make sure that it's, you know, accessible to them and easy, because I know for me, if I feel like it's too much, I'm not going to do it.
Totally. And you know what, cars can be as easy or as hard as you make them. And the big thing is that we do not push through pinching, pain, like uncomfortable. I don't care if you're uncomfortable, deal with it. I mean, that's part of growing, is being uncomfortable. But if you have closing angle pain, like say I'm doing this car and this is my closing angle and this angle opens, if I had pain up here, decrease until you don't feel the pain anymore, and then you finish the rep. So if your car is only here, please contact me, because you need to get your flexion all the way up to here. And you have no business lifting weights if you can't take your arm up here. You have closing angle pain when you squat, don't squat with weight. Get those cars in and get in touch with a Kinstretch provider. And you can, it doesn't have to be me, that you can look on the FRS page and you can find one in your area maybe. Yeah, they have find a provider, or you could type in your zip code, and I'm on there too.
Awesome. So that's actually great. So now where can, so you are teaching on, I know you're out in Dayton, Ohio. So can you let us know where people can find you if we do want to take online classes for you and or to find more information?
Yeah, definitely. My Instagram, emcfitnesscoaching. I don't have a web page, but I have a Facebook page too, and I have a Google business page. Just look for EMC Fitness Coaching. It's a logo with a lightning bolt, like it's holding a staff. And
you're also on Linktree though, right, as well?
Yeah, Linktree. I have a Linktree, and that is connected through my Instagram.
Great. I will make sure to attach that to this, because I definitely want people to get in touch with you. I want to get more in touch with you. And I definitely want to do maybe a part 2 or part 3, because my head is a little bit spinning with acronyms. I
know. Right now. It is a lot. I told you a lot of acronyms, and maybe I could even give you guys a little something demo wise next time, or you could do it with me. Maybe we could go through a couple of cars together and I could cue you as to what it would be like in a class. We could do a few base positions, and I can tell you about your 2-minute passive range hold, which I didn't even bring up, that we have to do 2 minutes stretch minimum 2 minutes.
I think that would be great. And I would love to get you back to do that and more.
Yeah, I would love to. It'd be an honor. Thank you so much. This has been really fun.
Thank you. So I want to thank Erin Cullin for her time today. I'm definitely going to have all of her contact information for you. I want her back. I'm sure you want her back as well. And I thank you all for joining us today. This is Melanie with Nutrition and Wellness with Melanie. I will be back with more wellness and nutrition with you. Thank you so much, Erin.
Thank you. Love you guys. Thanks.